Hello everybody and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I am here, getting ready to play my way back to being caught up to the current patch. So but I have myself set up. I've got a drink. I've got some food. And I've got some story. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's just refresh that. There we are. I trust you were able to get plenty of rest. Good. I thought we might take a moment to ponder our next steps, perhaps reflect on our recent journey. I must admit, my thoughts often drift to the Mist Continent and our stay in Treno. It was heartening to see the Malala prosper despite the odds, and my own flesh and blood strive in that leaven-racked landscape. Sphene was eager to restore diplomatic relations, and I have no doubt that Alexandria would provide much-needed support for their neighbor. I too shall do everything I can to aid my home away from home, my wonderful, welcoming, and family included. For the time being, though, I'd say we've accomplished all within our power. I suppose that just leaves the matter of Preservation's research. But it is yet unclear how Calyx learned the techniques he used to summon his Dark Primal. And there is likewise much that remains unknown about the key. Let us hope that Shale's efforts bear more fruit. Can you hear me? Shale and I have been reviewing the decrypted files, and have uncovered some intriguing details. Would you care to join us? We'll be with you right away. Excellent. Shale seems rather eager to speak with you all. Come and find us in the Turo Lab when you're ready. Uncanny timing indeed. Let us make for the containment complex. Heading for the containment complex, right this way.
Ah, you're just in time for a progress report. The decryption is finally complete. As we suspected, the data represents a partial record of Preservation's research documents. A quick scan of the files, however, failed to turn up the information Y'shtola was after.
Indeed. No mention of the Ascians, or primal summoning techniques for that matter. While Calyx doubtless received instruction from someone possessed of such knowledge, there was naught to identify this benevolent mentor. I am, however, pleased to say that we found several reports concerning the key.
We know the key is used to open paths between worlds, and was a treasured relic of the Milala. And just as the Milala were unable to return after reaching the Mist Continent, so too was Preservation unable to gain a mastery of the prize which had passed into their possession. The data suggests that a particular formula or procedure is required. A process which Calyx appears to have understood to some degree. Yet the key proved fickle. Perfectly replicating conditions was no guarantee of success. And even when they did manage to generate a modest portal, the destination was never the one they expected. Reports practically screamed their frustration, describing the experience as being dragged around by a traveler picking roads without rhyme or reason. Serves them right, I say.
That sounds like fun.
After much trial and error, Preservation began to experiment with external actuation devices for the key. Striving to maintain a stable pathway to a chosen location, they conceived of the technology that forms the gate to the Golden City.
So, their tribulations ultimately afforded them control of the key, albeit in a limited capacity, which, of course, explains why they were able to instruct Soralja in its use, thus enabling the unprecedented feat of transferring Everkeep and its environs to the source. After the Endless Fiend took the key unto herself, she opened pathways to other reflections in her hunt for ether, did she not?
The Milala merely used it to facilitate their exodus. To think what the key has now wrought in different hands.
For all we know, the actuation device augmented the key's power beyond its intended scope. Were your goal to plunder whole worlds of their ether, a tool designed to simply transfer people would likely be insufficient.
Shale, I don't suppose you would be able to remove the actuation device?
The machine made for that very purpose is still functional, thankfully. It shouldn't be a problem.
What do you think? We don't even know how the key works. If the device is somehow interfering or amplifying its capabilities, I believe we ought to remove it.
Give me a moment.
Looks a lot like White Boar's site.
My word.
Ishtola?
This is the first time I've beheld the key in all its unobscured glory. The sheer density is extraordinary. 'Tis akin to the structures we saw beneath the Tempest.
Now that you mention it, the ornamentation is reminiscent of Amarot.
Have you noticed anything since the key has been in your possession?
It reminds me of Azim's crystal.
You're suggesting the key has some connection with Azim. A plausible theory, although one we are yet unequipped to prove.
My apologies.
Couldn't put it on silent?
Hello? Yes, this is Squirrel speaking. That was Ojika with a message for us.
An urgent matter?
I'm not altogether sure. Tataru requires our counsel, and hoped to call upon us in person at the Baldessian Annex. Though disappointed we were not present, she appeared content to wait until our travels brought us back to Sharlayan, insisting that it did not merit our immediate summons. Her tone suggested otherwise, however, and Ojika felt compelled to contact us directly.
Mayhap the time has come for another journey across the Sot.
You'd best go. Though I'll not deny that I'll be sad to see you leave.
I shall.
Oh, Shale. I can't even begin to thank you for all you've done. We will be forever indebted to you and your Oblivion colleagues.
The debt is ours. We'll never forget the sacrifices you've made for us, for Alexandria. In the meantime, I shall keep sifting through the data. You'll hear as soon as I find anything of note.
Actually, I should like to stay here a little longer, if you don't mind.
You are most welcome.
And might I borrow the key for a while? I wish to study it further. With the utmost care, I assure you.
Well then, shall we be off? Ojika will be expecting us.
I shall. My colleagues will be just as saddened by your departure till we meet again. Safe journeys. Welcome back, and what a pleasure it is to see you too, Hildebrand. Thank you for contacting us, Ojika. We came as soon as we could. Of course, it felt prudent given how troubled Tataru was. Your concern is much appreciated. As it so happens, we'd reached a convenient juncture in our investigation. Shale and Stola have matters well in hand, leaving us free to make this trip. That's a relief to hear. Now let me fetch Tataru for you. Why don't you take a moment to relax in the main hall? I'm sure you're all still fatigued from your journey.
Planning your next journey?
Oh no, just reminiscing. Thinking back to when you bought this map, and how you all encouraged me to make the voyage to Tural.
Are you glad you did?
As if you need ask. Welcome back.
Tataru. How's our little moneymaker? Wonderful to see you again, Tataru.
I'm so glad you're here.
Ojika contacted us. He intimated that you were rather concerned. Come to think of it, Alphino said he and Alize would pay you a visit upon their return. Have you not seen them?
Oh no, they were here. I was regaled with many a tale of your Turali adventures. It was only once they departed for Garlemord that the rumors came to my attention. Rather alarmingly, void-sent sightings seem to be on the rise across the star. I was reluctant to bother you with mere hearsay, especially when you had more pressing matters to contend with. But earlier I received a confidential report from the Grand Company of Eorzea. It's as if a mighty dam has been breached, flooding the land with foul creatures. For a blessing, most nations have managed to keep the invaders in check, and casualties appear to be minimal thus far. Though the same cannot be said for those regions with a deeper connection to the void. Their fissures continue to manifest without end, putting countless innocents in danger.
A deeper connection to the void. Garlemald is the home of the Reapers, is it not?
It is. Alphino and Alize were there when the trouble began, and have since sent word that the situation has taken a dreadful turn.
Short bell earlier in Tertium.
Thus concludes the abridged account of our time in Tural. Now I shall leave you with the words of the late Dawn servant, Galul Jajar. Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship. A notion that rings true for Eorzeans no less than it does for the diverse peoples of Tuliolol.
And for Garleans as well. Even sharing something as simple as a local dish can pave avenues of understanding. It's up to all of us to forge new bonds, together.
Thank you for sharing your tale. Better they hear it firsthand than endure my clumsy retelling. Your words give me hope that we might achieve something similar here in Garlemald.
We all have the capacity to affect change. Our time in Tural taught us that much. And now that we've returned, it's time we rolled up our sleeves and got back to work.
I've already sent missives to the other nations, informing them of our Alexandrian friends. I also intend to notify the Garlean community officially. If both sides are amenable to the proposition, we shall gladly assist in establishing diplomatic relations with Alexandria and Tuliolol.
Thank you. But are you sure you've recovered from your journey? It sounded like you've hardly had time to catch your breath.
Sir! Lapis Manalis is overrun with void scent. We've sustained heavy civilian casualties.
What?
Clutium Squadron reporting in. We're under attack. Void scent appeared out of nowhere and ambushed us during a routine inspection. Damn it. Is that another Fisher? No, no, no! Ah!
My comrades are under attack. We have to do something.
There's no time to lose! Come on!
The Garlean community is ill-equipped to defend themselves against such a threat. Even with the aid of the twins and the Ilzabard contingent, they face daunting odds.
We shall leave for Garlemald immediately.
Thank you. I was able to contact Thancred and Urianger too. They're already on their way. With any luck, you'll be able to rendezvous with them on arrival.
I've been told Alphino and Alizé have withdrawn to Tertium to request aid on the front lines. They seem intent on rejoining the battle once reinforcements were ready, but I shall tell them to wait until you arrive. And just like that, we find ourselves faced with another emergency. Fortunately, there is yet time for us to make a difference. Let us make haste to Tertium. Hildebrand, you've made it in time.
You picked a frosty spot for a reunion.
Tataru sent word that you were coming. Full glad am I to see you all. Though I'm afraid this is no time for pleasantries. Planar fissures have opened up across Garlemald, inundating the region with void scent. As far as we can ascertain, there are two focal points of their assault. The Ilzabard contingent are combating the threat in Lapis Manalis. Although they have suffered casualties, they appear to have the upper hand.
As well they should. The many talented Uldan thaumaturges among them should be more than capable of closing any fissures they encounter.
Which leaves the second focal point, the Clutium. Eulus and the Garlean community are attempting to mount a counterattack, but are struggling to cope with the sheer number of Voidsent. They've fallen back to the north of the Imperial Palace. Can you lend your aid in securing the area?
With your blessing, I would tend to the wounded returning from battle.
Of course, Cryle. Thank you. The quickest route from here to the front is via the train tracks. Once we arrive, we can support the Garlean forces as we make for the fissure in the munitions factory.
I stand ever ready.
Our fates are not yet sealed.
Alright. Here we go.
Together we shall overcome this. You mine! Make ready!
If I may.
You're a sight for sore eyes. Appreciate the help. We'll handle things from here. Take care of the Fisher.
Behold the heavens' brilliance!
fighter.
Behold the heavens' brilliance!
If I may.
least I know what to look for.
Radiant starlight, become my blade! radiant starlight become my blade!
If I may?
Oh, radiant starlight become my blade! My turn.
What is this Destiny look or Warframe looking jerk off? Banana, banana, banana.
I think that's all of them.
We need but seal the fissure to prevent further ingress.
It's over. I can only imagine the extent of the damage were it not for your aid. On behalf of the Garlean community, I thank you for all you've done for my people, for my home.
No problem, Ulysses. You're a good dude. Kind of a jerk sometimes, but you're a good dude.
I shall close the fissure post-haste.
You have a message?
If you do that, I will be trapped here.
You risked your life in vanquishing the creature. Would you at least let me bear the burden of deciding its fate?
Go for it, bud.
You want to go back? To the void? Your kind have entered this realm before. Some seeking death that they might rejoin the life stream. But you would choose that dark, deathless place?
The wind is fresh and pure, untouched by darkness. Perhaps it won't be a blessing to meet my end in such a place. But I cannot yet bear to part with the void. If only the winds would blow there, as they do here. I long to return, to see my home unsullied, as it once was.
We know that pain all too well. If that is your wish, you must forsake this aggression. Go back to the Void and devote yourself to its restoration. I have a friend, Zero, who hails from your home. She and her companions strive to bring light into the Void from another world blighted with imbalance. I hear their efforts have already met with some success. One day, they'll drive the darkness from the Void, I'm sure of it.
His form is imbued with the will of all those I consumed. We shall return to our world and seek out this Zero. Then we shall see if there is truth in your words.
She won't disappoint you. That much I guarantee.
Bravo! I think Zero will approve.
Oh,
Oh, does he have a crush on Zero?
Indeed, that was truly heartening to see.
Understanding begets fellowship, right? I thought I might lead by example.
Well then, shall we head back?
Reports have begun trickling in. By all accounts, the Ilsbard contingent was successful in containing the threat on their front. For Void sent to attack in such numbers, just as we were finding our feet, I daren't imagine the consequences had you not provided such a timely aid. On behalf of my comrades, thank you. Thank you all.
The Ilsabard contingent have contained the threat on their front. Things appear to be under control for the time being. Though it remains unclear why the fissures opened up in the first place. According to Tataru, similar ruptures are occurring across the star.
One thing is clear, however. The phenomenon is not without pattern. The tendency for fissures to emerge is pronounced in regions deeply connected to the Void. Places where the barrier between the two worlds is at its thinnest.
I fear there may be a place in far greater peril than Garlemald.
Rodzahan.
Though it hath since been sealed, you will recall there is a great void gate that we ourselves had cause to open. A gate which was instrumental in our bid to reunite Vritra with his sister and put an end to Golbez's dark plot.
Oh gods. The moon.
With our attention fixed upon planar fissures, I failed to consider this vulnerability. All other paths unto the void are but pinpricks in the veil compared to that great lunar rift.
And that rift might be yawning open as we speak. We'd better hurry.
I think the rabbit's got it.
Let us make for Bestway's burrow. I dare say the Loporrits are well aware of current events.
We ought to have Kryl join us once she finishes tending to the wounded. I shall likewise contact Y'shtola. Her knowledge of the moon's void gate is second to none.
A number of my fellow Garleans now call Mare Lamentorum home. Alphino, Alize, please see they come to no harm.
We'll be back before you know it.
A quick word, if you will.
Gillis?
I'm not sure whether you'll run into Zero during the course of all this, but if you do, would you give this to her? Emergency rations, in case of a protracted battle. Can't imagine she's eating all that well in the void. She likes dumplings.
How cute. Let me tease him. Let me tease him. Okay, fine. Peace. Panic.
We're doomed! Doomed, I say!
Doomed.
Given thy panicked state, I presume the Loporrits too are beset with void scent.
Oh, what sweet relief it is to see you all! Yes, void scent, and lots of them. They suddenly came pouring forth from the crater.
I had dearly hoped to find my worries unfounded.
For some unknown reason, the void gate seems to have partially opened. Living Ray dashed off to activate the brands and halt the Fiend's invasion. But she hasn't come back, and we've since lost contact.
She'll be fine.
I suggest we make for the brands without delay.
Let's get something spacey. My valiant savior. I was so frightened I dared not move an ill. Oh, you're looking for Livingway? I think I saw her heading southwest towards the Drowning Brand. She had several slaughterbots in tow, but I worry they won't be enough for all the Voidson. You better hurry.
Any real danger, of course. I knew you would realize our plight and rush to our rescue.
Shut up.
Aetherius is likewise plagued with void scent. If only we'd prioritized further development of the void scent slaughterbots, we could have stemmed the tide ourselves. Oh, what a tremendous demonstration that would have been. Irrefutable proof that I was mankind's staunchest ally and the greatest lubberate to ever live. I can practically taste the praise.
I can hear your thoughts, Livingway.
Fortunately, I was able to activate the brands. Should any more void scent emerge from the gate, they ought to be confined to the crater.
That should help.
Unless, of course, the void gate begins to expand of its own accord, or some gargantuan monstrosity tries to barge through. I don't foresee any major problems.
Like that one?
Oh, nope. We're doomed.
There you are.
I left the data in Shale's capable hands and teleported here as soon as I heard. And ere you ask, I made sure to bring the key with me.
Thanks, I'm gonna need that.
Then the real threat yet awaits us.
'Tis Golbez's domain beyond the Void Gate. I wonder how he and Zero are faring.
Let's go say hi.
By the 12.
Gift of ethos. Long time no see, Zero.
What are you doing here?
Heard you could use a hand. A visit felt long overdue.
Only you could be so carefree amidst all this. May as well make yourself useful. The gate's sheer size appears to have made it a tempting target.
Oh, let's go.
Enuo, a dread void scent risen from the benighted depths of the ocean. They kept to the confines of their domain while Zeromus endured. No longer, it would seem. And once they had discovered a path to the Red Moon, they wasted no time in making the journey.
Leave the void scent nearby to us. You take care of Enuo.
Heard.
Facing this many foes calls for a more familiar approach. Voidsent can change their form at will. Both light and darkness are mine to wield. Besides, what better to purge darkness from the void than darkness itself?
Who dares face me? A mere mortal. Hast thou come in search of power? Renown? I fight to end this world without end. All who stand before me shall fall.
dare oppose me shall quake before the silken dark. The Void's power is mine to wield. Perish. Be still. Accept your downfall. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? The void consumes. Naught will endure. Neither past nor future. Only one certainty remains. My triumph. You know this. Struggle is futile.
I breach the darkness. Let the light guide me.
You must break free.
The underlings are no more. Now to deal with Enor.
Life and death rendered meaningless.
Light, protect us.
I will not yield my domain!
Such is the power of the Void.
absolute. The Void's power is mine to wield. Thus did all boundaries cease to be. Behold the truth of this world! Accept your downfall. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still. Perish. Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still. And thus did all boundaries cease to be.
They must be sealed away.
Nice. And as with last time, I'm gonna go ahead and use the bathroom before we move on. Okay. Alright. Let's get back to it, shall we?
I'm glad you came. We would have struggled to face Enuo alone. I presume you journeyed here to prevent more Voidsent from passing through the gate.
With Enuo defeated, there are none left in this realm who pose a serious threat. I dare say the problem is resolved.
I don't think there is. Alas, Voidsent have been emerging from fissures on the source.
Cause for alarm indeed. Tell us more. So the breach wasn't limited to the Void Gate. For better or worse, precious little has changed in the 13th since Zeromus fell. Have you noticed anything unusual?
I know not the reason events have unfolded this way, but there is, perhaps, an explanation as to why the Void Gate and the fissures opened.
You got something?
Here, in my domain, even the slightest change is keenly felt. When the gate opened, I sensed not the workings of some external force. Rather, it felt as if the barrier between our worlds was weakening naturally, moment by moment, until the two came to meet.
And you think this weakening could be happening elsewhere?
'Tis a possibility.
Oh, shoot. Hydaelyn was the one who kept the divide between the worlds.
What of Razatan and Garlemald? Eulus took mercy upon the interloper. Whether Voidsent or Garlean, we all share the same longing for home. Should we meet, I will gladly offer them aid. Please tell Eulus as much. Wait, how exactly did you get here? No mortal could traverse the Void Gate in its current state.
I've got a light gate.
And this path of yours is still there. I cannot see it.
Nor does it reveal itself to me. Perhaps Perhaps the path serves only the key bearer.
So let's call them doors.
So it is not a means to travel freely back and forth. A pity. I would have liked to see my friends again.
Something for me. That smell. Food, is it? I recall Yillis speaking of the dumplings his mother used to make. Thank you for the parcel, and the fond memories. There's more than enough to share with Golbez. Now that he forgoes the ether of others, I'm sure he'll appreciate the sustenance. I sometimes wonder what the Void would be like if culinary traditions had flourished here once more. Whether it would suffice to break the cycle of mutual consumption. A heartening thought, if nothing else. Until our battle earlier, I hadn't called upon the darkness in some time. In truth, I find light a better fit these days. Ever since you left, we've been roaming the void in search of individuals who would join our cause. Although we return to the Red Moon after sensing Enoa's presence, rarely do we linger in a single location. However, if the interloper you spoke of does intend to seek me out, it might be wise to return to my domain. Why don't you join us? With Enoa defeated, the source should be in no imminent danger. Good. We'll wait for you by the crater. There is a teleporter situated between here and the center of the moon. I used it to travel to the surface in days long past, though I seldom had need once my generals were in place. Igeorm herself crafted the device that I may lay low the servant of light. Ironic that we now use it seeking to restore light to the void. Forgive my idle reminiscences. 'Tis time we made our descent. Though it was not always so, many who live here now have chosen to do so because they support the cause. Indeed, if our numbers continue to grow, we may require more territory. Thankfully, we were able to harness the residual ether from Barbaricia's domain. Those reserves will enable me to expand mine as the need arises. Right, we had best prepare for our potential guest. Join me in my abode when you're ready. There are many in this domain who still fear me. I shall remain here to avoid needless provocation. imagine you remember these, the transmitters we used to receive light from first. If memory serves, they work by channeling excess ether left in the wake of the flood into the Crystal Tower. Using the tower's cross-rift travel capabilities, light is then conveyed onto the 13th into these devices. I have a mind to use them now, but they'll need to be set in an elevated location. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. Bacon from beyond.
Upon activation, these transmitters will shine with light from beyond, sent courtesy of our ever-watchful friends. They will serve as beacons in the dark for those that would seek me out.
I did not expect to see you here.
I've got my ways of getting
I
around.
am Zero, and this is my domain. 'Tis a safe haven for those who abhor conflict. Among those gathered here, many aspire to restore this world to how it once was.
Such a thing is possible.
Indeed. Though how long the endeavor will take, I cannot say. But for those of us abandoned by death itself, what do we have but time to try, and try again?
Very well. This light is ample proof your comrades spoke true. However long it takes to restore our world, you shall have my aid.
And you shall have mine.
It would seem Ulysses' intervention has helped forge a new bond. Thank you for bringing word to me. I gather you'll head home sooner rather than later. Yeah. Then let us return to the Red Moon. I'm sure you won't begrudge me a proper farewell.
Would you deliver a message to Ulysses for me? Tell him that we're making progress towards rebuilding our home. And I hope that he is too.
Enuo's Memoria will be safe here. The crystal containing Zeromus has been passed on to our allies in the First. If Enuo's Memoria might serve them in restoring their world, we shall likewise consider its transfer.
How much simpler it would be to aid one another in our respective fights, were it not for these boundaries between us. Safe travels, my friend. We take comfort in the knowledge that you're out there fighting too, wherever you may be.
No luck, I'm afraid. It appears he's not in Mare Lamentorum.
Wait. Is that...
Sup, nerds?
God, you had us worried. You suddenly disappeared. We didn't know what to think.
I got a fancy new doodad.
Shortly after you vanished, the Void-sent incursion abruptly ended.
Because I finished it.
We surmised you had a hand in that, but never did it cross our minds that you were fighting alongside Zero and Golbez.
This golden path you said you traversed wasn't visible to us either. Nor did we hear a voice. Ethos. Might this be the key's true name?
While many mysteries remain, for now, I am glad to learn the state of affairs in the 13th. Golbez's suspicion that the barrier twixt worlds has begun to weaken. 'Twould certainly explain the surge in fissures manifesting in the source.
Yet what could be behind such a phenomenon?
Oh, her.
And who might you be? Not her Void-sent, I'd wager.
Greetings. I am Helmarut of the Asians. We are your sworn foes, I know. But on this occasion, will you not put away your arms? I wish only to talk.
Hi.
Thank you for affording me a chance.
Bereft of the unsundered, we were under the impression you and yours no longer had cause to continue your activities. That you should reveal yourself at this juncture. I assume you are the one who bestowed Calyx with the knowledge of summoning and the reflections.
Yes, that is correct.
Was it necessary to reveal my present form as well?
Calyx. So he succeeded in transferring his memories after all.
Be at ease. Even were I to occupy a combat-oriented vessel, I would not have the ability to defeat you. You destroyed my plan, my life's work. I have naught to replace it, nor will I ever regain what I once had.
If you wish to speak, Halmarut, will you not tell us what it is that you hope to accomplish?
As you know, our star Aetheris was sundered into 4 and 10 shards in the time of the Ancients.
Right. That was Hydaelyn.
As the will of the star, Hydaelyn perpetuated this unnatural division for millennia. And in the wake of her passing, nature has begun to reassert itself. As a wound knits itself together, the star seeks to become whole once more. Yes, it seeks to rejoin with all of its shards. Unlike the one we Ascians attempted to orchestrate, however, the star's rejoining will afford mankind no special treatment. All life and matter will be condensed into a single whole and remade for a new beginning. A complete rebirth. Aetheris will return to the way it once was. Hundreds of millions of years past. To a quiet and peaceful time. Long before the light of mankind was kindled.
She's just stating facts.
Supposing for a moment we believe you. How can you possibly know all this?
Because that's her job.
It is an inevitability that I have foreseen since time immemorial. A future that awaits should creation be freed from the influence of Hydaelyn and Zodiark.
Yep.
The star is tolerant to life. It holds no grudges, and neither rages nor weeps for being sundered. Yet by the same token, it is indifferent to life's survival. No amount of devastation and death can compel it to stop the wheels of creation from turning. The earth shakes, and mountains spew fire. Floods wash away the fruits of labor, and icy winds freeze and starve. Countless perish as nature runs its course. So many seeds of life have already been lost, yet in spite of this, people continue to believe that the morrow will come. But it will not. For nothing lies beyond the solstice, when all creation is reunited. When that day comes, every last trace of mankind shall be erased. I cherish man's journey. Despite losing his innocence and being made to live with suffering, he has forged ever onward. Strong, even as he is weak, his is a proud tale in the history of the star. It would be a shame for that tale to end, for all to wither and die, when some might yet survive. Would you not agree?
She's a good guy.
If a natural rejoining doth lead unto the solstice, then thine intent is to preemptively rejoin the worlds.
Correct. It was for this very purpose that Halmarut recruited suitable collaborators from the Reflections. Individuals like me, who would willingly doom another world in order to fulfill their aspirations. The Winterers, we are called. And if you and yours seek to protect all life, then sooner or later you shall have to contend with us.
So are we gonna be called the Summerers? Because there's 2 solstices.
Even if everything you claim is true, what you've done, Calyx, it's unforgivable!
I do not ask that you be pragmatic, nor do I seek your approval. Given your familiarity with other reflections, 'tis only natural that you are averse to our methods. But there is one irrefutable fact that you must understand. Should we take no action at all, the solstice will come, and no one will be left alive. No one.
Fair. Halmarut is like a decent person.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the Reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
You dare bring Xenos up.
Wait!
There you are! One moment we were standing before me, and the next you'd vanished into thin air. Thanks to you all, the void scent had been eradicated, and the gate lies sealed once more. There's been nary a peep from the crater. Though I can't help but notice none of you seem to share my enthusiasm. Is something wrong? The star seeks to become whole? But that's preposterous. As far as I'm aware, Heidelin made no mention of a natural rejoining. I ought to consult the records to be certain. But not before thanking you for dispatching the void scent so handily. You well and truly saved the day. The implications of the solstice and the winter's schemes, as well as our approach moving forward, will take time to consider. To that end, we should gather and speak in person, and by we, I mean all our fellow scions. For a change of pace, why don't we convene at the Rising Stones? I'm sure Tataru and the others would be happy to meet us there. A fine idea. In many ways, our return is long overdue. No doubt we could all use some respite after Garlemald, but I trust there are no objections? To settle then, to the Rising Stones. Wow. Going back to the Rising Stones. Nary a thing has changed since we last gathered here. No doubt Tataru is chiefly responsible for the prevailing state of tidiness. Speaking of whom, she and a great many of our comrades are en route. Let us wait for them a while longer.
Long it hath been since last we gathered here.
Yep.
Though our order's dissolution was indeed in name only, thereafter we did largely operate independent of one another. All of which is to say, full glad am I to stand in such esteemed company once more.
Apologies for our delay.
Hoary Boulder! Yo! Hey, the gang's back together. Let's go.
We're reporting for duty, as bid.
Hoary, oh sure.
This is everyone that we could round up on short notice. The others are still en route.
That's fine.
Estinian alone we weren't able to make contact with. But we're working on it.
He's already here. I bet he's already
No
here.
doubt his link pearl is buried at the bottom of his bag.
Knowing him, he'll turn up when we least expect it.
He's already here.
Now, as much as I'd like to savour our reunion, Tataru tells us there have been developments. Will you apprise us of the details?
Of course, Hoary Boulder. Oh, man.
The Winterers and the Solstice.
The veracity of Halmarut's claims remains unclear. Yet it cannot be denied that, in his bid to convert the living into endless, Calix was privy to knowledge of the reflections and more.
And the Winterers are formed of others, like him.
In light of the recent Voidsent incursions, I believe it would be wise to treat the Solstice as a genuine threat. The problem is how to deal with it.
Both the source and the reflections are home to irreplaceable life. I would protect them all if I could.
Then why don't we?
But if doing so means ushering in complete annihilation, then what can we possibly do?
I wonder, was Hydaelyn aware of the solstice?
I could just go back and
Given
ask.
that we had no knowledge of it when you journeyed to Elpis, you couldn't have warned Venar. So it is entirely possible she was unaware. But in the course of sustaining the Sundered Star, she may have glimpsed this eventuality.
I think she knew and chose to trust in us.
So she believed that we could overcome this trial as well. Or rather, that the choice was ours to make.
Whichever it may be, it is we who must find the answer. We who live in the here and now.
Perhaps we could take a recess? Oh, I dare say everyone could use a rest.
Indeed. We have ample food for thought, and it would be good to catch each other up.
Ere I forget, Heron, I believe you should keep the key, Ethos, in your possession. After all, it seems that is one mystery I am not destined to unravel.
Let's go. There's nobody over here. No. So we all stayed over here. Okay. Oh, sure. Oh, God. Even after discussing the revelations concerning Calix, there's a great deal to share. It is difficult to know where to begin. Aenor and I were training in Gridania when the Voidsent attacked the Twelveswood. Thankfully, we were able to fend them off with the help of the Twin Adders. When I heard the invasion had already spread across the star, I realized the gravity of the situation and ordered a confidential report sent to the other Scions. That's why Tatsuru was so quickly apprised. Thanks to you, we were able to make haste for Garlemald. While the circumstance and duty may keep us apart, we remain bound by common purpose. Indeed, may that purpose continue to guide us now that we stand together once again. The brothers are reunited, yet a distance between them persists. How cruel fate is to force me to choose. Anor, I hoped you'd come to your senses, but I see you're still in the throes of withdrawal. Judging by your guise, Clemens, your studies must have been productive. Indeed, I have more or less mastered the fundamental principles of Charlayan astrology. At one point I considered exploring other healing arts, but decided to persevere with more focused training to better leverage my skills on the battlefield. I don't think I'd be much use on the battlefield these days. I can scarcely hold my bow steady, let alone hit a target, so sorely bereft of brotherly ministrations as I am. I knew you still required constant supervision. You two haven't changed in the slightest. It makes me wonder how our colleagues that couldn't join us today are faring. After Urianger and I went off on our own, we decided to spend some time exploring Shak Tural. We never had a chance to visit during the Rite of Succession, you see. We came east to Loaz and Nieta before heading up the coast to the frigid northern reaches, where they revere a storied beast of the sea. The excursion only served to reinforce just how diverse Tural really is. We also met with the Wallaki. Though we had not time to study their arts at length, we were privy to several intriguing demonstrations. Would that we could have indulged our curiosity further and traveled to yet more distant lands. For better or for worse, pragmatism tempered our wanderlust. Suffice it to say, we still have plenty to see of the continent. I should very much like to return given the chance. 'Twas by no means an easy decision, but as the solstice is now our paramount concern, Alizé and I have opted to formally withdraw from our efforts in Garlemald. After all, anything we can do to protect our world will also serve to keep the Garleans safe. Ulysses and his comrades are already working towards a brighter future of their own accord. Honestly, I'm more worried about us. It's so difficult to see the path ahead, but hopefully we can get through this and return to Garlemald with our heads held high one day. Indeed, in the meantime, let us prepare a letter for Ulysses and the community. We mustn't let despair stay our hand. This latest development is indeed a shock, but I am heartened to see not a single face clouded with despair. I helped to repel the Void-sent incursion in Lapis Manalis. Fighting off fiend-controlled Galate is something I won't rush to relive, but it was nonetheless good training. Coltonet and I had remained in Corvos to monitor the situation among the Garleans and the Corvosi. Though seldom smooth sailing, in time the region settled, and we were able to return. I understand the Garlean community has made great strides in improving relations with other peoples. Hearing that, I felt renewed zeal for resolving the issues in Corvos. Then perhaps you'd like to hear more about the Garleans' accomplishments from me and the twins. It might stoke that fire even hotter. It seems everyone has much and more to discuss with one another. Anyway, you're overdue for a proper break. The peace and quiet will help you think. Feel free to make yourself comfortable in Dawn's respite.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you. —
I detest evenings such as this. Too bright, too stimulating. The mind distracted by the inconsequential. You needn't be so wary. I merely come to offer information before my departure. Halmarut and I will soon cross the rift to observe the enactment of another Winter's plan. Our destination is the fourth. A world locked in ice, whose lands are blanketed in thick clouds. In order to survive, man has fled to the skies, using great magics to establish new civilizations.
That sounds exciting.
It was not my intent to excite. I have my own designs I would see realized, nothing more. Believe me or don't, as you like. For all I know, you lack the means to follow us anyway. What Halmarut said to you earlier. She suggested that dealing with the reflections might satisfy your ambition. But is that truly so? You have seen battles beyond counting, have defeated even the fear of death. Is there some conclusion that you seek, no matter the cost? I will share with you a truth. We Winterers each have an ambition that we wish to fulfill. To that end, we may share information with one another, but we do not necessarily share the same beliefs. Just as you and yours decried my actions, I find those of my fellows objectionable. Be that as it may, it is the culmination of our lives' works that we would bring to the world, fruits born of undying devotion, daring aspiration, and unwavering ideals. No matter how we are reviled, no matter what we must steal, our actions will be vindicated by those who abide in the future we create. In your benevolence, you may seek to save everything and everyone. But once all is consequently consigned to oblivion, your noble deeds will amount to nothing more than folly. For no living soul shall remain to judge them.
stars are doomed to mend, how turns the key to winter's end. I think that's it. We're caught up. Folks, it's been wonderful playing with you guys. We are now caught up with the story, and now we will make our way into doing a bunch of the patch content, like the raid series and all that stuff. So, looking forward to playing with you guys. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you. Have a good one.